So, November 13th, 2019 is a very important date in Canadian history. November 13th, 2019 was the last day that a baby in Canada has been named Karen. There has not
Wow.
been a single baby named Karen since November 13th, 2019.
We did it, guys.
It used to be the 39th most popular name for babies, and it is now zero.
I'll tell you what though. There are like Karen got a lot of groundswell, right? But that's a 40 years too late Karen. Like every Karen that I've ever met that was like a psycho was above 40, right? But like I've known people like there are certain names that are like cursed. Like like you meet them and like no one you've ever met with this name is like a good person.
Sure, sure. But as a collective nation, nightmare slain. The name Karen has been utterly and completely defeated. And if anyone had a grandma named Karen, then too bad, I guess. But it's
They'll get
like
there soon.
not a single person. It's a name has been completely annihilated. The history of names is always a weird one because usually, movies and shows and books tend to create eruptions in what are otherwise predictable patterns.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a fucking tactical nuke on a name
Yeah,
that was
internet
once on the
media
list.
has like rapidly increased the turnover rate on names.
Yeah, the little GIF that shows you how they all move from year to year. Like Daenerys is gonna have a half year period
Mm,
before it
just
before it gets
just all
overturned completely.
regret.
Hmm.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that say your parents named you Daenerys or Danny, after Daenerys in season 1. That me or Khaleesi even,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
That
Danny, you can
means
hide.
you get to be old enough to understand your parents' disappointment with the final season by the time it rolls around. Because you'll be like, what, 8 years old?
You'll be starting
You
to
get,
be a person. Hmm.
yeah, you get to feel, oh, my parents made a fucking mistake.
Hmm. And I mean, at some point shortly after, you get to choose whether you have a pet name, to mask it, or whether you just go to the office and get her done.
Yeah.
But
Or you go by your middle name, which is like a regular name. It's like your grandma's name or something.
yeah, yeah. There's
You're
always
like,
there's always
Gretchen,
that.
that's weird. I've never met a Gretchen before.
There's opt outs. There's ways you can opt out for sure.
You just go by Danny. That's what I assume most of those people are gonna go and do and fix that. Is Danny, that's a name that people have. That's not some fucking embarrassing nerd name.
But yeah, that's Canadian history right there, man. That's proud of that one. That's good. Let's see if we can get
I think
America
any
on board.
I think any young boy that their name starts with a consonant and then the syllable A and then anything after that other than Jason is fucking doomed. Like Traden or all those
Braden,
fucking creepy
Jaden,
goddamn soccer moms. Jaden's are horrible. They need to go away.
Caden,
Go.
Dayton. You can just go down the alphabet, I
Oh,
suppose.
it's a whole thing. Jaden just jumps out at me as like you just mashed together some bullshit.
And what about Pat?
That's okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's fine.
You got an A up early after a consonant.
I mean, I like, Patrick's the full, the full deal, but like, only my mom calls me Patrick. I feel bad for her though. because my mom doesn't like the nickname Pat. She actively dislikes it. And when they were picking my name out, they were going through my brother's hockey cards because they couldn't think of any names, so they're going through hockey players. And eventually they lands on Patrick Roy. And then they're like, what about Patrick? And my mom's like, well, I like Patrick, but I really don't like Pat. And my dad was like, don't worry. No one will call him Pat. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward a couple decades, and my mom is punked to this day.
Yeah, what was the... there was a whole thing on... There's a whole thread on subreddit about the Aiden variant names and how, like...
Oh, yeah.
And the local...
Traded.
And the places you can trace them to and all that shit.
Oh, it's nightmarish.
Mm-hmm. It's the kind of name you're going to hear yelled out in a grocery store somewhere.
Oh,
yeah. You know? Yeah.
And let me ask you a question, Willie. Did you ever talk to your folks and go down the nightmare path of your alternate names before the final was chosen?
No. I told the story. There was no path. There were no alternates. It was real simple. This is probably worth, I guess, repeating since it's been years now, but it was supposed to be Darlington, and then everyone in the family had already gotten used to that concept and was warming up to it. And then my father walked into the fucking room with a finger raised in the air and said his name shall be Wooly Jr. And then everyone kind of went, ugh. And then that was that. Because there needs to be two of you.
Well, I'll that's a great story. But I'll give everyone some nightmare fuel because it fucks me up about the alternate path I could have had in my life. The name before that, the front runner right before Patrick was chosen was Luke. So that could have happened.
Ooh.
Yeah! See what I mean? You see what I fucking mean?
Ooh.
Just...
Ooh, that's slimy. That's no good.
And like you go back and like you think about like life, and I'm just like, man, and my whole trajectory could have been dramatically different.
Ew. Fuck. Oh god, fucking New Testament, man. Just
wasps. What do you like?
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. No, that's no good. That's no good. Was it gonna be like the full like Lucas, or was it just abbreviated right away? Yeah.
And on the other side, I got to dodge the curse that my siblings and my cousins all got, which is that I'm not Jean Patrick.
Yeah.
I got to dodge that shit. Because my dad and my brother and my sister and my aunts and uncles and grandparents and cousins are all Jean or Marie, the rest of it.
Yeah, but Luke isn't necessarily Luke. It's Jean-Luc energy. That's the energy that you really dodged. It's not the same as Luke in an English way.
In hindsight, I would have totally gone by Jean-Luc instead of Luke in that scenario. And I would have become an even more insufferable Star Trek dweeb.
And you would have been a JL.
Yeah. I don't like JL as much as JP. Or JF.
JF is all over.
Is the core.
Yeah, JF is everyone. JF is super common here. But JL every once in a while, and yeah, damn. No, bullet dodged. There you go.
I could have gone JP. That would work.
See, I had no chance at normal. You know, I had zero. And I mean,
is Is Wooly even a common name in Grenada?
No, it's not Grenadian. No, and my dad's not.
Jamaican?
No, it's not. It's just a weird fucking name. It's just a weird
Okay,
name.
it's like it's not a common name anywhere.
No, not at all. It has nothing to do with any of that shit. You know, it just fucking that's and again, I had no chance at anything normal, but like I was hoping for at least a fucking combo because I've said it before, but my brother ended up with Nwamiko, which is African prince,
That's all right.
and quite unique. Sounds good.
Can be easily subset into like 4 or 5 different nicknames.
Yeah, no, it works out. He got himself it's smooth. And right into a very smooth middle name as well. Like all in all, like just really got him, really got the luck of the draw on that. And then they kind of dropped the combo immediately on me, but here we are. It's unique. You're not gonna mistake it. I'll tell you that much. At the very least. But yeah, it was that or Darlington. So
Is that a common name?
no, but it is a name. It exists. It is a. In fact, it's a couple of things. It's a place. It's a street. It's
Okay.
it's more common than Wooly is by a hair. But yeah, that's also going into a weird like one of them sounds overly formal and the other sounds overly casual.
Yeah.
So
I feel like your name's a little off, like it's weird, but it's not like a problem. But like there are people out there that are just genuinely cursed. Like I genuinely feel bad for any young woman growing up with the name Jessica because you're doomed.
that ain't so bad. That's still pretty common, and that's still around there.
No.
And
I just mean because as you grow older, you'll discover what people's experiences with Jessicas are. And they will reflect on you.
It's too popular. It's such a mixed bag. There's been awful and nice Jessicas. I don't have anything on that. You might have had a specific.
Have you ever met a nice Kyle?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. You might be going a little too fucking personal on some of those, but I've definitely met a nice Kyle. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I've never met.
I grew up with a very chill Kyle, actually, a childhood friend who was like, yeah, no, totally. It's. I thought you were gonna go more so with the specifics of like an Agnes. In a post
well, I mean, no.
post 2000 Agnes,
I think if you're gonna name your kid like an old person name, I think that's got its own merit, like Agatha.
Gertrude.
Ain't nothing wrong with a Gertrude.
Yeah.
Oh snap! It's the Trude.
There was,
and then they just vomit all over the floor.
Punch Mom was telling me about what was it? There was a baby, was it like Gershamel or something along those lines? With just very
like the villain from the fucking Smurfs.
No. Like it was something. But just
that's Gargamel.
That was Gargamel. Yeah. It was like Gershamel or something along those lines, and just very, very Jewish parents that wanted a very, very traditional name for the kid, and they just went really old school on it. Yeah. Every once in a while you get one of those, but you got that, or you got your like chastity,
You might.
That's when you're fucked. That's when it's over. Like,
So okay, names to raise a stripper by: Chastity, Annie, Rock,
Mineral or car?
Any Mineral.
Rock,
or
mineral,
car.
or car equals yes. Poll.
That's the game. That's the game. You go you go down to the guess that stripper, and it's they have the tags. It's rock, mineral, or car.
Correct. Yes. This is like the poll is adjacent to the crib. It is happening. And sometimes you can try to hide it with a Y, but or a K, but it's not. It's not.
I know what you're doing.
Yeah, it ain't. Yeah, you ain't real hiding it. We know. We seen it.
I see you, Quartz.
I see you, Jeep Grand Cherokee. Yeah.